6:44, if you're just joining us, the top headlines happening today. We're going to get a verdict in the bench trial for the second teen charged with killing 53-year-old Stephen Amenhauser. That verdict coming down for Adriel Riley Jr., charged with second-degree murder after police say he and Xavion Perry set Amenhauser on fire back in 2021. That was at the victim's home on Lyle Avenue. Perry pleaded guilty to manslaughter and faces 25 years in prison. At the time that this crime happened, Perry was 16, Riley 14. The verdict for Riley coming down around 9:30 this morning. Again, no jury. That's coming from the judge. Also today, the U.S. Supreme Court will consider whether the Biden administration has the authority to wipe out billions of dollars in student loan debt for millions of Americans. The president announced the program back in August that could cancel up to 20 grand in debt for students all over the country, making less than $125,000 a year. The 9 justices this morning will hear from 6 Republican states who sued, as well as 2 borrowers on this issue. 3 years after COVID swept all over the globe, there's still debate exactly how this first got started. A new government report suggests it may have come from a lab leak in China, though it's unclear how certain that is. The report from the Department of Energy suggests the virus leaked from a lab in Wuhan, but the assessment comes with low confidence. Several agencies suggest the virus was first transmitted from animals to humans in Wuhan, but came from a wet market.
We have to assume that both possibilities are real, and we want somebody to blame. What I, as a scientist, want is an answer as to why it happened so that we can be better prepared so it doesn't happen again.
We really do want to know what happened here. There is not a consensus right now in the U.S. government about exactly how COVID started.
On Monday, Chinese officials denied the virus came from a lab, responding to that theory. A House subcommittee on the pandemic will hold hearings about the origins coming up next week. A stolen car leads to shots fired. RPD says this all started last night around 6 at Goodwill Street for a call for someone who may have been shot. The victim says someone stole a family member's car from a home. Then he chased after the suspect in his own car. At one point, the suspect shot at him. The bullet missed, but the victim did swerve and hit a tree. No one was injured in all of this. Police say, please don't do this and put yourself in danger. If this happens to you, instead, don't chase after the person. Just call 911. A convicted murderer sentenced to 25 years to life for the 2021 killing of Terrell McKnight here in the city. Rashad Albert Brown was found guilty of second-degree murder after police say he shot McKnight the day after the two got into a fight at a family party. Relatives of McKnight say his death has changed their lives forever. As part of National Public School Week, local schools are raising awareness about the ongoing teacher shortage. The state's teachers union, the biggest one, predicts roughly 180,000 new teachers will be needed here in New York over the next decade. Recruitment efforts continue here at home and around the country. All of this to fill permanent and sub-teaching posts. Officials at Hilton Central School say they are really short on science teachers and subs as well. As the only bank in Rushville gets ready to close its doors, people there are wondering if they're going to be left out or forced to do all their banking online. Those are the main concerns we're hearing. People who need a physical place to bank, like Mennonites and our seniors. Bank officials point to other locations you can go to, but they're not close. Some argue they're out of reach for many. Mennonites mostly rely on horse and buggy for transportation. The nearest branch could be maybe 10 miles away or further. Lithium battery recycler Li-Cycle is on the receiving end of a $375 million loan from the U.S. Department of Energy. This comes as the company works to become the first source of recycled battery-grade materials in North America. The loan coming from the Fed's Advanced Technology Vehicles Manufacturing Program at the DOE. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says this puts Rochester right at the forefront of a nationwide plan with plenty of room to grow. New legislation in Albany could make the process easier for those seeking to get an abortion pill. It can be taken 10 weeks into a pregnancy, according to the FDA. The proposed bill would allow pharmacists to offer non-patient specific prescriptions, broadening pill providers. There's still some debate over whether these pills are dangerous for a woman's body and if this legislation would further distance a woman from her own personal doctor. Many families are soon going to lose a cut of the money they depend on to put food on the table. These added COVID-era SNAP benefits run out tomorrow. Jatira Marsh joins us now to explain where families can go for support once this happens. Jatira.
Brennan, good morning. More than 100,000 individuals will have less money to spend on food and necessities for their household now that Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, will be decreased. And starting March 1st, SNAP benefits will return to the previous amount, which means most families will lose about $100 to $200 a month. FoodLink's Mark Dwyer says this means they'll have to rely on Social Security and SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, to make up the difference. However, he wants people to know food banks do still exist to assist people.
We want to make sure that they know that the emergency food system is there for them. It's extremely accessible. We try to have touch points all throughout the county and the region to make sure that there is a food pantry nearby in your neighborhood, in your town or village. We know what we do in the near term cannot make up for $10 million of lost SNAP benefits, but we're going to do every little bit that helps.
Dwyer also says FoodLink will be holding 5 additional food distributions throughout Monroe County in late March to bring food directly to those who need it. Brennan?
All right, thank you, Tyra. People can find more information about the benefits with SNAP and those food banks, other resources in this story at rochesterfirst.com. 10 minutes ago until the top of the hour. Here's James with updates on that weather.
Yeah, let's take a look at the checklist, a morning checklist. What do we need? You know, I wish I could check off sunglasses, but not going to be the case. Mostly cloudy skies, a heavy jacket, probably a good idea. Temperature is not going to be too cold, but when you're in the 30s and you've got winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, we could be talking wind chills in the 20s for most of the day. We'll take a look at the rest of your week. Peak at Friday and Saturday, which could be an impactful storm system at the end of the show. Brennan?
All right, thank you, James. Roads pretty clear this morning because of staying above freezing and some of that rain. You can see a live view outside. Sunrise traffic. We'll have another update because we don't have any new accidents to pass along. We'll have that view coming up at about 7:25. 6 members of our local music community are getting recognized with a huge honor. Their names etched into history as part of the Rochester Music Hall of Fame's class of 2023. The members for this year's group: Rochester Red Wings organist Fred Costello, the longest reigning sports organist in U.S. history; revolutionary dance choreographer Garth Fagan; local reggae group Majestics; metal producer and songwriter Sebastian Marino; soulful vocalist Tweet; and a radio personality, Brother Wease.
If you start breaking them down into genres, it's amazing the wide array of musical talent. And we're really hoping that the community comes out once again and really supports these fine musicians and, you know, what they've meant to both our community and the music community at large.
The official induction happens at a ceremony April 30th, and that will feature a couple of shows from the inductees. Weezer is making a stop in the Finger Lakes, CMAC, and Canandaigua this summer as part of the band's newly announced tour. That show is coming up July 3rd. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10 o'clock. Students and faculty at Brockport are competing in a nationwide challenge to reduce waste on campus at the college. Sometimes friendly competition, that's the best motivation to get more people involved. Brockport is currently hovering in the middle of the pack, 42nd out of 79 as week 3 of the competition continues. They've recycled 18,000 pounds of material, the same as taking 7 cars off the road for a year. They did a waste audit to push and educate their students and found that more than half of the waste from dorm rooms is recyclable.
We really want kids to learn what's right to recycle, how we're going to recycle, you know, what it means to recycle and what it does for the sustainability for the planet.
Part of the long-term plans include making it easier to split and identify what can be recycled, and a sustainability park where students can compost their own waste and potentially run new campus gardens. The Bills continue to help fans get ready for this new stadium in Orchard Park, what it's going to eventually look like in a couple of years. We got some new renderings here to show you. 3 of the photos are exterior shots. One from above offers the better view of what that roof will look like. Not a dome, but it covers a lot of the seating. Also, a couple of other changes. The team notes that the exterior reflects historic Buffalo architecture while also giving a modern appearance.
Bad little sprinkle or two out there. I don't think it's necessarily worth the umbrella, though, as it's a very light rain that's working its way in from west to east. Temperatures generally starting off around 33 degrees, and that's why we're calling for rain. Even if a little bit of a snowflake mixes in there, it will likely melt on roads. Breezy this afternoon, so that 38 feels more like 28. And sunrise just happened, 6:49 a.m., although the clouds dominating that skyline. And unfortunately, that's the case for the rest of the 8-day forecast. All right, so let's go over this here day by day. Tonight, we drop down in the mid-20s. That could mean maybe some icing around the area to start off Wednesday, but otherwise just an isolated shower or two for Wednesday. Mid-40s, so we're spiking temperatures there. We cool down Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, hanging in the 30s, and then Friday and into Saturday. We're circling that stretch there for what could be another storm system that brings us not only snow showers, but a wintry mix, maybe some ice in there as well. And, you know, it's making that typical 2022-2023 seasonal trend of warm air from the south, just destroying all chances for a big snowstorm.
And we've got that, you know, 12:01 to midnight streak going.
Yes.
Not the 3 inches of snow.
3-inch daily snowfall. Maybe Friday night could be possible. But, you know, it's worth watching, as I have right in there for you.
All right. Thank you, James. And thank you for watching us this Tuesday morning, News 8 at Sunrise. We'll see you back here at about 7:25. That's our next update in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings coming up next. Stay dry. Enjoy your day.